Hello, this is the Pseudo Battler, and I have an OU match here today with the same team I've posted the past two videos. I really like the team, and I actually have quite a bit of battles with it that were really close or just interesting to watch, or at least in my opinion they are. But regardless, I'm going to hurry up and get into the narration. I lead with Rotom, and he leads with Politoed, and he has a Thunderous T on his team, and seeing that, I go immediately for the Hydro Pump and nail this Thunderous T first turn, one hit KO, which is going to help me so much later in the battle. And then he sends out a Toxicroak. I obviously can't hit it with a Hydro Pump, so I go on the Vaporeon planning to roar out his sub. And he goes for the Focus Punch, and I'm like, okay, I should be able to live that, and it hits me, and it brings me down to about 3 HP. And I was like, wow, that was an insane amount of damage. And he goes into Accelgor, and I never thought I'd say this before, but this Accelgor actually gave me a lot of problems. That is actually something I never thought I'd hear. I don't know who gave Accelgor hydration, but whoever did is insane, because I did not expect to see it at all. I just go ahead and set up a wish, thinking maybe even if it's asleep, I might be able to use Vaporeon later. And he turns out it's not going to be able to KO me. And he goes out in the Toxicroak, and I'm like, damn it, he's going to get another sub. This is really bad. That last Focus Punch did so much damage. So I go on the Gliscor, because, it's a Gliscor, so I figure I can do something. And this Toxicroak doesn't cease to surprise me when it pulls out the Ice Punch after I break its sub. And I'm like, God, why do you do this to me? This Toxicroak is evil. But now I know that he has no ground types or Volt Absorbs left on his team, so it's safe to go out in the Rotom and Volt Switch out of there. And I actually hit his Fortress pretty hard with that Volt Switch. It must not be especially defensive at all. And I go out in the Spook, and even though it's raining, he's still times 4 weak to HP Fire, so I'm going to go for it and take him out. And that's all good. And now he goes out in the Politoed, and I know from experience I usually can't one-shot Politoads. And he goes for HP Grass, which I did not predict, and it nails my Rotom. It's a pretty obvious switch, but I figured Scald was what he would go for. And I do 51% to this Accelgor, and now I'm going to try to fake it out. But he ends up having a Jellicent on his team, which I had completely forgotten about until that turn. So I'm really glad I didn't go for the high jump kick or anything. And I U-turn out of there, and I go back into... Or I go in the Spook. That was probably a mistake. I should have went right out in the Rotom. But Spook gets burned, and I'm going to stay in here a few turns and try the Shadow Ball. Seeing I'm doing over 50%, and that's slightly more than he's going to be recovering, and even with leftovers. And then the next one I do 62%. And I'm dumb. I shouldn't have stayed in here and kept spamming Shadow Balls and just weakened my Spook a lot. But, yeah, I'm going to switch out this turn, seeing that that's not going anywhere. And he goes for the recover. Blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to trick him to Scarf, because this Jellicent's really annoying me. While he goes for Shadow Ball, and it doesn't do enough to KO me. And I know I'm faster than a Scarfed Jellicent, so I'm going to go ahead and Volt Switch out of there. It does quite a bit, but I'm not going to go in the Gengar now. Knowing he's locked in the Shadow Ball, I'm going to go in the Scizor. And I'm going to Pursuit Trap this thing, which was actually kind of, it was a mistake. I shouldn't have did that, just because now he goes in the Toxicroak, and now he gets another free sub. And I'm like, God, what am I going to do to this thing? It's horrible. But at least Rotom outspeeds, so I can go for the Volt Switch as he's tightening his focus. And I'm going to go on the Gengar to eat it. And I saw Ice Punch, Focus Punch, and sub, and I wasn't sure if he had the Sucker Punch, but I knew I had to go for the attack. I had to know, and he does have Sucker Punch, and it does take out Spook. And this Toxicroak is giving me hell right now, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. So I go on the Rotom, and I Will-O-Wisp him, which is really nice, before he can set up a sub. I guess he was predicting to take the Volt Switch, then sub, but I had the Will-O-Wisp, so now he's not going to be doing nearly as much damage. And I'm going to Volt Switch out of there and go back in the Vaporeon, thinking I could probably live one, since it didn't do 100% last time. Now its attack's halved, all that. And because of Burn and Life Orb, he's losing a bit more HP. each turn, and he goes for the unprotected focus punch, and it's going to take out my Vaporeon. That was sad. I didn't want to be unprotected focus punch. Nobody does. But now I'm going to go back out on the road. I'm expecting the Volt Switch out of there, and it'll all be good. But he actually gets a crit on the Sucker Punch, which I think probably mattered because, you know, he was burned, and I was a Rotom. I have some bulk. But I go in the Mean Shao now, and I'm just going to go for the Fake Out, which I should have went for the high jump kick, as you can see here, because he's faster, and he's going to go for the rest. And I go for Hidden Power, thinking that high jump kick wouldn't do very much, but it didn't matter anyway. He was just going to rest off any damage I did with high jump kick. As you see here, I can't one-shot him with high jump kick, and he has rest. So basically right now I'm in a lot of trouble. I can't really do anything. And I U-turn out of there, and I go in the Scizor, since I only have 2 Pokemon left. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do at this point. He rests again. As I go for Pursuit, I actually misclicked, and that was bad. I wish that didn't happen. But now that gives him more time to be a Herpter, Jank, Accelgor, and rest up all the damage I keep doing to it. But he goes for Yawn. I'm not sure if that was a misclick or not. It didn't seem like it'd be very viable since I have the U-turn. But that gives me a chance to finally take out this Accelgor. I should have went for Bullet Punch, but I didn't. But now I go for U-turn. And it's funny because he actually has a Sash, but it didn't activate. Even though... So that means I did all but 1 HP of damage to him, which is pretty funny. Now I take him out with the Fake Out, and he goes in the Toxicroak. And I go for U-turn. And I'm not sure what he goes for here, actually. I think he goes for Ice Punch. Yeah, I guess he knew I was going to break the Focus Punch and everything. And he goes for Focus Punch here, knowing that I'm probably faster, so Sucker Punch won't do anything. Or it won't do anything even if it hits, but I just Bullet Punch him, knowing that his last is Politoed, and I'm not worried about it. Because even if he takes me out here, a high jump kick will easily take down his Politoed in one shot. And now it's all down to whether I hit this high jump kick, and I go up and I crash down, lose 50%, but he actually goes for the Paris Song. I'm not sure why I did that, but I thank him for it because, you know, I think I kind of deserved the win because that was a 90% accuracy move and I missed it, which was dumb. But either way, it turned out to be my game. It was really close. Had he went for Hydro Pump and not missed, I would have lost, but he didn't, luckily. Either way, he did really nice, and he was a pretty good battler. Reset. And if you guys enjoyed, then comment, rate, subscribe. I know that the guy who I battled this with, he subscribed to me, and if you watch this video, then if you do a YouTube channel, tell me and I'll link you. But if not, then whatever. Please comment, rate, subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.